What's going on, guys, and welcome to my Week 8 NFL picks. Last week I did a pretty good week, back onto winning ways. I got a 10 out of 15 correct, so it's nice to be back in the double-digit correction column anyway. So before we dive into Week 8, just point out the Cardinals, Packers, Jags, Rams, Giants and Titans, 6 teams are all on their bye week. So yeah, and obviously it's 6 again next week as well, so the next 2 weeks are going to be relatively quiet in the NFL. So to start off, the Dolphins at the Ravens to start Thursday Night Football for Week 8. This game is going to be an interesting one. The Ravens right now are just a bad team. They're a lot worse than I thought. Their defense is good up until the fourth quarter. But come the fourth quarter, they just seem to crumble because their offense isn't giving them nothing in return. So, the Dolphins, on the other hand, however, coming back after beating the Jets, the Jets basically bossed them the majority of the game. But then the Dolphins came back, rallied, and won. This one is going to be a very interesting one. Now, obviously, Baltimore at home, they are a bit of a different team when they're at home. However, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I don't like Baltimore's offense at all. And with Jay Cutler going down, Matt Moore's now going to be stepping in. I think the offense is going to be rejuvenated. It's going to give them that spark they need. Their defense is still pretty good anyway. I don't think they're going to have much trouble getting to Joe Flacco. I reckon the Dolphins could win, so I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to beat the Baltimore Ravens to start Week 8. Now on to the Sunday games. The Vikings at the Browns. Now this is a 1:30 p.m. kickoff for us, obviously because it's at Twickenham. And I'm going to go with the Vikings. The Browns, obviously, a bit similar to the Niners, unfortunately, having a really bad season. Swapping and changing quarterbacks. They've had 3 different quarterbacks playing for them already this season. And obviously it's on a neutral ground, so there is no home field advantage for the Browns or for the Vikings for that fact. But I do reckon the Vikings will pull off the win because at the end of the day, it is the Browns. They've lost Joe Thomas, which is going to be a massive blow. So yeah, Vikings win. Chargers at Patriots. Now the Chargers coming off that drumming of the Denver Broncos on Sunday. The Broncos right now, I don't know what's going on with them, but the Chargers on the other hand are playing really good football. I think they're one of those teams that are just flying under the radar at the minute. Going into New England just seems to have found their defense again. Finally stopped a 300-yard passer on them in Matt Ryan, which was a shock. And they're at home again, hosting the Chargers. Now I reckon the Chargers coming into this game, alright, fair enough, they seem to have found a bit of rhythm, but I don't reckon that it's going to be enough of a rhythm to beat the Patriots, so I'm going with the Patriots. Bears at Saints. The Bears beat the Panthers just like I predicted there, although they won in a way I didn't expect them to. With Mitch Trubisky, I think he only completed like 7 or some odd passes. And it's basically their defense that won the game. That defensive back Jackson, I can't remember his first name, scored 2 touchdowns just to him alone. So going into this game, the Saints, also another team, started the season with a bit of a bad defense, but I've just seemed to have flipped the switch. Their defense is like number 1 in turnovers, and are just playing really well at home against the Bears team, who offensively aren't playing that well. So I'm going to go with the Saints because I reckon the defense is going to be just too good for Mr. Trubisky. So yeah, Saints win. Panthers at Bucks. The Panthers just completely struggled against Chicago. Couldn't believe what I was watching. And obviously the Buccaneers, and something, I don't know what it is about James Winston, but his shoulder doesn't seem to be right, or what it was when he got injured in the Cardinals game. And I think that showed against the Bills. The Bills came back and beat the Bucks. I reckon obviously now the Buccaneers at home, Cam Newton on the offense is very inconsistent. Had a good one week and a terrible the next. I reckon this could be the week Carolina bounces back. I'm going to pick the Panthers to beat the Buccaneers. Colts at Bengals. The Colts are a bad team. Obviously a bit better than those because they beat us. I couldn't believe it, but they are an okay-ish team. Jacoby Brissett is okay. He's managing the ship barely, but going into Cincinnati, coming off that loss to the Steelers, which I know is a tough loss, but at the end of the day, the Bengals kind of flippy-floppy at the minute. But I'm gonna pick the Bengals to win because I think talent-wise, they're a better team than what Indianapolis are. So I'm going to pick the Bengals. The Raiders at Bills. Now, obviously, the Buffalo Bills coming off that comeback win against the Buccaneers, which was a really good comeback. LaShawn McCoy had 2 touchdowns. Seems to have found a bit of a running game now. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor. I was going to say T-Mobile, basically calling the same thing. He's obviously running the ball. He can scramble around like Russell Wilson. So going into this one, the Raiders coming off that great comeback win against the Chiefs, that was an incredible game on 30. They've had a bit of an extended period. Obviously, you're not playing on Sunday. You should be a bit fresher going into this game. I'm going to pick the Raiders, even though they're going into Buffalo. I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. 49ers at Eagles. Oh, man. Obviously, I'll be bringing you this video on Friday. It's going to be an interesting one. Falcons at Jets. The Jets basically pulled an Atlanta Falcons job. They were whooping the Dolphins and choked at the end. The Falcons, I don't know what the hell is going on with the Falcons, but they clearly are not the same team as last year. Obviously, that's because the offensive coordinator is not there, because he's now our head coach, and their defensive coordinator is no longer there. So whatever's going on, it needs to be fixed, and I don't think it's going to get fixed anytime soon. The Jets, again, inconsistent. They started the season fairly well, surprising a lot of people, and now they just had a bit of a dip. They're at home against the Falcons. Falcons coming off a loss to the Patriots, on the road again, going into New York. I reckon the Jets might actually pull this one off. I reckon the Jets back home, bounce back after that unfortunate loss to the Dolphins. I reckon the Jets might actually eke this one out, so I'm going to pick the Jets. A bit of an upset of the week, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets. The Houston Texans at the Seattle Seahawks. Now, obviously, the Texans coming off a bye week, should be the fresher team. They're getting the left tackle back, who's ended his holdout, which is massive for Deshaun Watson. However, Deshaun, I think up until this point, hasn't really faced any really good defenses. Not like he's about to face in Seattle. Going into Seattle, that notoriously loud stadium, I reckon this is going to be a real test for him. Now, the Seahawks offense, on the other hand, they seem to have found a bit of a rhythm. I don't know what happened in the beginning part of the season. Obviously, they had a bad offensive line, couldn't really find a running game, but some of their pieces are starting to gel together now. I reckon Seahawks should win this game, although it's going to be a close one, but this should be a real good test for Deshaun Watson, see how good he actually is going into an environment like that, and going into that game in Seattle. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win. Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Redskins. The Redskins coming off that absolute whooping of the Eagles on Monday night, so it's going to be a bit of a short week for them. Hosting the Cowboys, who were coming off the arse beating they gave us, which still is a bit sour, but you know, it is what it is. I reckon the Cowboys beat the Redskins. I don't see anything. I think the Redskins were battered with injuries. Their defense is not as good as it should be, and the Cowboys obviously seem to have rejuvenated. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Cowboys to beat the Redskins. For the Sunday night game, Steelers at Lions. Now obviously this is the return for Ben Roethlisberger. This is the return where he won his very first Super Bowl. So this is going to be a really interesting game. Lions coming off a bye week. Obviously, Stafford should be a bit healthier now. Obviously, I think he's a bit banged up with his hand and all that before the bye week. It's going to be an interesting game, but what I don't like about the Lions going into this game is their defense. I reckon their defense is very inconsistent, and I think the Lions' running game is key for them if they're going to stand a chance of winning. However, the Steelers seem to have found their form. Running the ball well, passing the ball well, and their defense is playing amazing. They're able to get to the quarterback. So I'm going to pick the Steelers to win. So for Monday Night Football to end the week, Broncos at Chiefs. It's been a bit of a long week for the Chiefs, playing Thursday now. They're playing all the way on Monday, so they should be well rested. The Broncos, on the other hand, oh my goodness, they are playing terrible football. Trevor Siemian only completed 4 passes against the Chargers. That is terrible. They cannot run the ball. Quarterback's playing terrible. Their offensive line is garbage. Their defense, I don't know what's happened with their defense, but it just doesn't seem to be existing anymore. And yeah, going into Kansas City, you know they're going to be salty after that loss to the Raiders. So I reckon the Chiefs bounce back and put a whooping on the Broncos. So yeah, Chiefs win that game. So yeah, guys, there's my picks for Week 8. Do you agree or disagree with anything? Be sure to leave a comment below. Who do you think is going to win? Leave a comment below. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. Until Friday, when I bring you my 49ers Eagles preview video. Until then, guys, have a good one. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.